Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something powerful, something that lives within each one of us. It's called self-discipline. Now, self-discipline isn't glamorous, it's not flashy. You don't see it in the spotlight. But let me tell you, it's the one thing, sometimes the only thing that will take you from where you are now to where you want to be. Self-discipline is one of the most crucial aspects of achieving any form of success in life, yet it's often one of the most overlooked qualities. Many people believe that reaching their goals requires motivation, talent, or some innate ability that sets them apart from others. But what they fail to understand is that the true foundation of success lies in self-discipline, the steady, unbreakable commitment to do what needs to be done, regardless of mood, circumstance, or temporary setbacks. When we think about successful individuals, we often admire their skills, creativity, or intelligence, but if we look closer, we'll see a common denominator: an unyielding dedication to self-discipline. Whether it's athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or scholars, all successful people know the importance of staying consistent and putting in the work, day after day, even when they don't feel like it. Self-discipline means doing what's necessary to progress, regardless of how motivated you feel at any given moment. This ability to act despite emotions is what separates people who only talk about their dreams from those who make their dreams a reality. At its core, self-discipline is about mastering your mind. Most of us know what we need to do to reach our goals, but we're often held back by distractions, comfort, or the allure of immediate gratification. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, which makes it tempting to procrastinate, skip difficult tasks, or choose the path of least resistance. However, success demands that we push past these impulses. Self-discipline allows us to take control of our actions, breaking free from the constraints of momentary desires and instead working towards long-term rewards. It's the strength to resist the urge to quit when things get tough, the patience to keep going when progress seems slow, and the courage to keep taking steps even when there are no guarantees of success. People often believe that they need to wait for motivation to strike before they can start working toward their goals. But here's the truth: motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. While motivation may help you take the first step, self-discipline is what will keep you moving forward, no matter the obstacles. It's the anchor that holds you steady when motivation fades, when the excitement of starting something new turns into the hard work of maintaining it. Self-discipline doesn't depend on feelings or circumstances. It's a commitment to your vision, no matter the ups and downs you encounter. Building self-discipline isn't easy, and it's not something that happens overnight. It requires deliberate effort, but the good news is that it's a skill anyone can develop with practice. By consistently choosing to do the things that lead you toward your goals, even when they're difficult, boring, or uncomfortable, you train yourself to become more disciplined. You start to build trust in yourself and your ability to follow through. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you have control over your actions and can shape your future. The rewards of self-discipline are immense. It gives you the power to overcome procrastination, resist distractions, and stay focused on what truly matters. With self-discipline, you can work consistently toward your goals, which compounds over time to create incredible results. You start to see progress, which boosts your confidence and fuels your desire to keep going. Every small victory becomes a stepping stone, a sign that your efforts are paying off. Self-discipline allows you to stay on course, even when the journey feels long, exhausting, or uncertain. It's the fuel that keeps the fire burning, enabling you to persevere when others give up. This foundation of self-discipline doesn't just bring external success, it also strengthens your character. It teaches you patience, resilience, and accountability. When you practice self-discipline, you learn to take responsibility for your actions and choices, realizing that every decision you make is a step toward or away from your goals. You start to understand that success isn't handed to you, it's earned through countless small acts of discipline and determination. Over time, this approach transforms the way you view challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, you begin to see them as opportunities to grow, learn, and prove your commitment to your goals. One of the most powerful aspects of self-discipline is that it's contagious. When you consistently work on yourself and stay committed to your path, you inspire those around you to do the same. People notice the quiet strength in your dedication and are drawn to it. They see the sacrifices you make, the hours you put in, and the progress you achieve, and it motivates them to adopt similar habits. By cultivating self-discipline, you become a role model, showing others that success is within reach if they're willing to put in the work. Your actions speak louder than words, and your commitment becomes a source of inspiration for those around you. In a world where many are looking for shortcuts, self-discipline stands out as the true, timeless path to success. It's not about luck or talent, but about staying committed to your goals, even when no one else is watching, even when it's hard, and even when it feels like nothing is happening. Self-discipline may be challenging, but it's the foundation upon which all lasting success is built. Self-discipline is often misunderstood as a rigid or restrictive force, but in reality, it's an incredibly empowering tool. Just like a muscle, self-discipline strengthens with consistent effort and practice, building up over time to create resilience, focus, and stamina. This journey begins with small steps, like choosing to complete a task when you'd rather relax or resisting the urge to procrastinate. With each of these seemingly small acts of discipline, you're not only making progress toward your goals, but you're also cultivating a lasting habit of perseverance and self-control. In many ways, self-discipline is a skill that anyone can build, regardless of their starting point. And like physical exercise, it may feel uncomfortable at first. The initial push to discipline yourself to work when it's easier to rest, to focus when there are distractions all around, requires an internal strength that may feel unfamiliar or even daunting. But each time you practice self-discipline, you're not just moving closer to your immediate goals, you're gradually reshaping the way you handle challenges and setbacks in every area of your life. Building up self-discipline over time isn't only about achieving specific goals, it's about the long-term effect of this gradual, steady practice. People often underestimate the impact of small actions repeated consistently. When you choose to exercise discipline daily, you create a snowball effect. At first, the difference might be small or barely noticeable, but as days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the cumulative effect becomes undeniable. Just as a single workout doesn't make a noticeable difference, but consistent workouts over months transform the body, self-discipline reshapes your habits and mindset with time. The small daily sacrifices compound, transforming your life in ways you may not even notice at first. As self-discipline grows stronger, so does your ability to push through discomfort and face challenges without giving in to the immediate urge to quit. It becomes easier to ignore distractions, to prioritize long-term gains over short-term pleasures, and to remain focused on your goals. Each decision to stick with a plan, follow through on a commitment, or resist a temptation builds this inner strength. Your mind learns to respect the routine of discipline you're creating. Each act of self-discipline reinforces the habit, training your brain to follow through on what's important, even if it's not easy. This is also where discipline becomes less about sheer willpower and more about habit. At the start, pushing yourself to work on something challenging may feel like a force of will. You have to consciously decide each time to focus, each time to resist distraction, each time to put in the effort. But over time, this process becomes second nature. Just as lifting weights strengthens muscles until the movement becomes effortless, practicing self-discipline repeatedly makes the practice more automatic. You've trained yourself to follow through, to stay focused, and to keep going without even thinking about it. What's remarkable is how self-discipline, like any skill, transfers to other parts of your life. Once you become disciplined in one area, such as working out or maintaining a daily writing routine, you'll find it easier to practice discipline in others. The patience you learn from physical exercise can help you stay calm and focused in stressful work situations. The commitment you put into building a personal project can make you more resilient when managing family challenges. Self-discipline teaches you to stay grounded, to think clearly, and to act with intention rather than reacting impulsively. This ability to stay steady and controlled serves as an invaluable asset in every area of life. Another powerful aspect of building self-discipline over time is the confidence that comes with it. Confidence doesn't simply come from talent or luck, it comes from knowing you can rely on yourself. When you've consistently proven to yourself that you're capable of following through, even when it's tough, you start to believe in your own strength. You become someone who sets a goal and reaches it, not because it was easy, but because you showed up and did the work. Each instance of practicing discipline strengthens your confidence, empowering you to aim higher, reach further, and believe in your own ability to overcome obstacles. As you continue to build self-discipline, you also start to see setbacks and challenges in a different light. Instead of viewing obstacles as reasons to quit, you begin to see them as opportunities to grow and improve. When discipline becomes second nature, failure is no longer the end of the journey. It's a lesson, a point of reflection, a chance to adjust and try again. Self-discipline teaches you that every setback is temporary, that every goal is achievable with enough persistence, and that you are capable of rising to any challenge, no matter how difficult it may seem. And while many may envy the results of self-discipline, whether it's success, respect, or confidence, few are willing to put in the consistent work required. This is why self-discipline is often a rare trait, but it's also why it's so rewarding. Those who build it over time create lasting change in their lives and often achieve more than they ever thought possible. They not only meet their goals, they exceed them, pushing beyond limits that once felt insurmountable. With self-discipline, you're not just reaching for what's within your grasp, you're discovering a potential within yourself that you may not have even known existed. Self-discipline isn't just about getting things done, it's about who you become through the process. The steady, daily choice to commit to your goals, to rise above distractions, and to stay focused shapes your character, making you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It's not an easy journey, but it's one that leads to extraordinary results. And every day you practice it, you build a foundation that will support you in reaching your dreams, no matter how big or challenging they may be. Self-discipline often requires sacrifice, and this sacrifice is a critical aspect of reaching any meaningful goal. It means choosing the harder path over the easier one, the long-term benefit over the short-term pleasure. When you make the decision to prioritize your goals, it often requires setting aside immediate comforts, distractions, and even habits that feel ingrained. It's not about self-punishment, but rather an intentional trade-off. To get something valuable, something must be given up. And self-discipline enables you to make those tough choices without resentment or regret. In the pursuit of greatness, you learn that there are things you must forgo to achieve something greater. Consider this when you decide to dedicate yourself to improving in a certain area, be it your career, physical fitness, or personal growth. You might need to sacrifice certain things. This could mean giving up time you would have spent on entertainment, getting up earlier when you'd prefer to sleep in, or working long hours when you'd rather be relaxing. These aren't easy choices, but they're necessary if you're serious about achieving your goals. The path to success isn't lined with instant gratification. It's filled with challenges that test your commitment at every turn. In choosing self-discipline, you also learn the value of delayed gratification. Our natural instinct is often to seek out pleasure and avoid discomfort. We want the reward without the effort, the payoff without the patience. Self-discipline teaches you that success rarely, if ever, works that way. It requires consistent, dedicated effort over time. When you sacrifice immediate pleasure, you're training yourself to value long-term gains over short-term comforts. You understand that the work you put in today will pay off tomorrow, even if you can't see those results right away. This sacrifice isn't just about what you give up, it's about what you gain. When you focus on your priorities and let go of distractions, you create space for growth, progress, and self-improvement. Self-discipline helps you weed out the unnecessary and channel your energy into what truly matters. You develop a sense of clarity about your goals and what you need to do to achieve them. Over time, these sacrifices start to feel less like losses and more like purposeful choices aligned with your greater vision. You're choosing to invest in your future, and each small sacrifice becomes a stepping stone toward that vision. The act of sacrifice through self-discipline is far from glamorous. It requires saying no to things that might seem appealing in the moment, but don't align with your goals. This could mean missing out on social events, waking up early to get a head start, or resisting the urge to take it easy when you know you should be working hard. These choices might feel tough in the moment, but with time, they become habits. You start to see the rewards of your discipline, and those sacrifices you once dreaded become routine actions that empower you to keep going. The strength to sacrifice through self-discipline also builds resilience. Every time you choose to stay focused despite distractions, you become mentally tougher. Each act of discipline strengthens your willpower, and you learn to tolerate discomfort for the sake of growth. Self-discipline helps you understand that setbacks, discomfort, and sacrifices are simply part of the journey. You no longer see them as obstacles, but as necessary steps in reaching your goal. This mental toughness becomes an asset, not only in pursuing your dreams, but in facing life's challenges in general. Sacrifice through self-discipline also helps you distinguish between what's important and what's not. You begin to see that not every opportunity, invitation, or impulse deserves your attention. You become selective, choosing only those things that add value to your life and align with your aspirations. This selectivity is empowering because it gives you control over how you spend your time and energy. Instead of being pulled in multiple directions by every temptation or demand, you stay focused on what truly matters, and this sense of focus allows you to make meaningful progress without being sidetracked. The sacrifices you make for your goals often inspire those around you. People notice the commitment, effort, and discipline it takes to consistently prioritize long-term gains over short-term pleasures. Your actions demonstrate the value of self-discipline, and you become a source of motivation for others. This ripple effect is a powerful byproduct of sacrifice. When others see you putting in the work and making tough choices, they're encouraged to pursue their own goals with the same level of dedication. Your discipline becomes an example, a model of what's possible when one is willing to make sacrifices for their dreams. Self-discipline also teaches you that true success is rarely easy. The journey is full of moments where you're tested, where the easy path tempts you away from your purpose. But with each sacrifice, each act of staying the course, you get closer to your goal. The challenges become part of the process, not a barrier to it. You start to appreciate the journey itself and find value in the lessons learned through sacrifice. You begin to understand that every hard-earned success is sweeter because of the sacrifices made to achieve it. Sacrifice through self-discipline is about freedom, the freedom to choose a life aligned with your values, purpose, and goals. By making conscious decisions and sticking to them, you're not at the mercy of fleeting impulses or external pressures. Instead, you're in control, empowered by the choices you've made. These choices, though difficult at times, lead you to a place of achievement, pride, and fulfillment. You come to realize that every sacrifice has been a crucial building block in the foundation of your success. Through discipline and sacrifice, you unlock a potential within yourself that was once hidden, proving that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. True self-discipline is about staying consistent, especially when the journey gets tough. Anyone can set goals and work toward them when they feel motivated, but it's when motivation fades that self-discipline takes over. Consistency is the foundation of any meaningful achievement, and it's often the lack of consistency that prevents many from reaching their potential. When you commit to a path, it's easy to be excited at the start, but as time goes on, obstacles arise, routines become repetitive, and the excitement begins to fade. This is when the strength of self-discipline shines through, allowing you to stay committed even when the initial thrill is gone. Staying consistent means showing up every day, whether or not you feel like it. It's about working toward your goals steadily and with purpose despite the highs and lows along the way. Many people wait for motivation to strike before taking action, but motivation is temporary and unreliable. It can wane with a bad mood, a setback, or a tiring day. Self-discipline, however, doesn't rely on feelings or fleeting enthusiasm. It's built on the foundation of commitment, reminding you of the bigger picture when all you want to do is quit or take a break. It gives you a reason to keep going when motivation is absent. Consistency also builds momentum, which is a powerful force in achieving any goal. Think of it like pushing a heavy object uphill at first. It's hard, and every step requires extra effort. But as you keep pushing, it becomes easier. You build up momentum. The same goes for building habits and routines. The more consistently you work toward your goals, the easier it becomes to keep going. The tasks that once felt overwhelming or difficult begin to feel like part of your routine, and they require less mental energy because you've established a habit. Self-discipline creates this momentum through consistency, allowing you to work steadily toward your objectives without the constant need to psych yourself up or search for motivation. Being consistent also helps you overcome resistance, the internal and external barriers that naturally arise along the way. Whether it's procrastination, self-doubt, or simply a desire for comfort, resistance is a force that can derail progress if not handled properly. Self-discipline helps you push through this resistance by making the choice to take action a habit rather than a struggle. Each time you choose to follow through, despite resistance, you weaken its hold on you, making it easier to stay consistent. Over time, what was once a battle becomes second nature. Your mind and body adjust to the routine, and you face less internal opposition to getting things done. One of the greatest benefits of consistency through self-discipline is the confidence it builds. When you prove to yourself, day after day, that you can commit to something and stick with it, your self-belief grows. You realize that you're capable of achieving your goals because you've shown yourself that you have the endurance and determination to keep going. This confidence isn't just about feeling good, it's about trusting yourself to follow through on your commitments. Knowing that you can count on yourself is empowering, and it fuels even greater progress because you've established a track record of consistency that you can rely on. Self-discipline and consistency also teach you patience, an essential quality for achieving long-term goals. In a world that often values instant gratification, patience can be a rare quality, but it's vital for real success. When you practice self-discipline by staying consistent, you learn that progress is rarely linear. There will be days when it feels like you're making giant leaps forward, and others where progress seems almost invisible. But by showing up consistently, you learn to trust the process. You understand that each step, no matter how small, is building toward your goal, even if the results aren't immediately apparent. Consistency also breeds a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. There's something incredibly fulfilling about knowing you've put in the work day after day, even when it wasn't easy or exciting. This pride comes not from the final achievement alone, but from the journey, the effort, and the small victories along the way. You begin to value the discipline itself as much as the end result, understanding that each day of consistent effort is a testament to your dedication and strength. Self-discipline fosters resilience through consistency. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. There will be times when things don't go as planned, when obstacles seem insurmountable, and when everything feels like it's falling apart. During these times, consistency serves as a stabilizing force. Because you've made it a habit to keep going, you're less likely to give up when the road gets rough. You've built the mental strength to withstand challenges because you're used to pushing through discomfort and difficulty. In this way, consistency and resilience go hand in hand, each reinforcing the other and providing a foundation that can withstand even the toughest setbacks. Another powerful aspect of self-discipline through consistency is that it compounds over time. The results of consistent effort might not be immediately visible, but with each day you're adding to your progress. Just as interest compounds in finance, your daily actions build upon each other, eventually leading to significant outcomes. Many people quit too early because they don't see results fast enough, but those with self-discipline understand that real progress takes time. They stay the course, knowing that each day brings them one step closer to their goal. And when the results finally appear, they're often far greater than what could have been achieved through sporadic effort. Consistency through self-discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about avoiding every setback or never missing a day, but about having the resolve to get back on track every time you stumble. You might miss a workout, a study session, or a practice, but self-discipline helps you return to the routine without letting one slip derail your entire journey. This ability to recommit, to get back up and keep moving forward, is what separates those who reach their goals from those who don't. Self-discipline teaches you a crucial lesson about ownership. You are responsible for your actions, choices, and ultimately your life. When you embrace self-discipline, you're making the decision to take full accountability for your journey. There's no room for excuses, no finger pointing, and no blame shifting. You accept that where you are now and where you will go is determined largely by the choices you make every day. This ownership brings with it a sense of empowerment and purpose because you understand that you have the power to shape your future through your actions. Many people fall into the trap of blaming their circumstances for their lack of progress. It's easy to say, I would be more successful if only I had more resources, more support, or fewer obstacles. But self-discipline reminds you that, while you can't always control your circumstances, you can control how you respond to them. You learn to focus on what you can influence rather than what you can't. This shift in perspective is transformative because it puts you in the driver's seat of your life. Instead of waiting for conditions to be ideal, you make the most of what you have and move forward. Taking ownership also means acknowledging when you've made mistakes or taken a wrong turn. Self-discipline doesn't promise perfection, it encourages growth and learning. When you're disciplined, you don't avoid your mistakes or try to cover them up. Instead, you face them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Every setback becomes a lesson, and every failure a stepping stone. This kind of ownership gives you the resilience to bounce back, because you see mistakes as part of the journey, not as dead ends. You understand that each decision, whether right or wrong, contributes to your growth. Owning your actions through self-discipline also builds integrity. When you're disciplined, you hold yourself accountable, not just when others are watching, but even when no one is around. You stick to your commitments and follow through on your promises, knowing that your word matters. This builds trust with yourself and others, creating a foundation of reliability and honesty. People begin to recognize you as someone who stands by their principles, someone who doesn't waver in the face of challenges. This reputation isn't just valuable for personal pride, it's essential for building meaningful relationships and earning respect. Self-discipline also forces you to confront and overcome your limitations. When you take full ownership of your actions, you don't let excuses dictate your behavior. You acknowledge any weaknesses or areas where you struggle, but instead of letting them hold you back, you work to improve. This might mean pushing through discomfort, facing fears, or breaking free from habits that don't serve you. Ownership means you recognize these limitations but refuse to be defined by them. You're constantly challenging yourself to grow beyond what you once thought possible, creating a cycle of continuous improvement and personal development. This sense of ownership doesn't come without its challenges. Accepting responsibility for your life can be intimidating because it removes the safety net of excuses. You can no longer hide behind external factors when things don't go as planned. However, this shift is also incredibly liberating. You realize that, while you may not control every aspect of your life, you have the power to control how you react and what you do next. This understanding is a source of strength, giving you the courage to take on bigger challenges and pursue your goals with a sense of purpose. When you fully embrace self-discipline, you also become more intentional about your choices. You're no longer acting on impulse or simply going with the flow. Instead, you're making conscious decisions that align with your goals and values. This intentionality is a hallmark of self-discipline, allowing you to live in a way that reflects who you truly want to be. You stop wasting time on distractions or activities that don't serve your purpose. Every action, no matter how small, is part of a larger plan, and this focus brings a sense of fulfillment because you're living in alignment with your aspirations. Self-discipline and ownership also bring a sense of accountability to your relationships. When you take responsibility for your actions, you become more considerate of how your choices affect others. You're less likely to make excuses or shift blame when conflicts arise, and more likely to approach problems with a solution-oriented mindset. This not only improves your relationships, but also strengthens your character. You learn to own up to your mistakes, communicate honestly, and seek to make amends when necessary. This maturity in handling your relationships stems directly from the accountability that self-discipline cultivates. By taking ownership, you also free yourself from the fear of failure. When you're disciplined, you see every setback as part of the process, not a reflection of your worth. You become comfortable with taking risks because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. This mindset shift is empowering because it removes the pressure to be perfect. You understand that progress is made through persistence and adaptability, not through faultless execution. This resilience, born from self-discipline, allows you to keep pushing forward, knowing that every experience, good or bad, contributes to your journey. Ownership through self-discipline ultimately leads to a life of greater freedom and fulfillment. When you take full responsibility for your life, you're not beholden to anyone else's expectations or judgments. You're free to pursue your goals without seeking validation from others because you're living according to your own standards. This freedom is immensely fulfilling because it's rooted in authenticity. You're no longer bound by societal pressures or external demands. Instead, you're following a path that you've chosen for yourself, one that reflects your values and aspirations. Taking ownership of your actions also prepares you to handle future challenges with grace and confidence. Life will inevitably throw obstacles your way, but when you've developed self-discipline, you're better equipped to face them head-on. You've trained yourself to remain steady, to make clear-headed decisions, and to keep going despite difficulties. This internal strength becomes one of your greatest assets, giving you the courage to tackle new goals and face unforeseen circumstances without losing sight of your purpose. When you own your life through self-discipline, you realize that you have the power to shape your reality. Every decision, every action, and every commitment you make moves you closer to the person you want to be. It's not always easy, but the rewards are profound. You gain a deeper sense of pride, confidence, and peace because you know that you're living life on your own terms. You're not a victim of circumstance, you're the creator of your destiny. And that, ultimately, is what makes the journey worthwhile. Embracing self-discipline doesn't just build your inner strength, it allows you to overcome the temptations and distractions that come your way daily. The world is filled with distractions and constant noise. From social media notifications to countless forms of entertainment, there are endless ways to lose focus on what matters. But self-discipline equips you with the power to ignore those distractions and stay laser-focused on your goals, transforming potential pitfalls into opportunities to strengthen your resolve. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're building a habit that reinforces your commitment to your long-term objectives. Imagine each moment of temptation as a crossroads. On one side, there's the immediate pleasure of a distraction, the lure of an easy escape. On the other, there's the harder path, the choice to keep working, to keep progressing, even when no one's watching. Each time you choose the more challenging option, you're not just staying on track, you're solidifying a mindset of resilience. Self-discipline is what gets you back to work after a moment of temptation, reinforcing your ability to stay focused. It strengthens your capacity to delay gratification, to say no to distractions and yes to the future you're working to build. Resisting distractions isn't about denying yourself enjoyment, it's about prioritizing what truly matters. Self-discipline helps you make those choices wisely. Instead of scattering your time and energy across countless distractions, you choose to focus them on activities that align with your aspirations. Each time you resist a distraction, you're reminding yourself that your goals and dreams deserve your full attention. Over time, this leads to a shift in mindset where you naturally gravitate toward what's meaningful and disregard what's irrelevant. You start valuing your time more, realizing that each minute spent on distractions is a minute lost from building the life you envision. Self-discipline also helps you manage impulses and develop the patience necessary to stick to your goals over the long haul. Temptations are often impulsive urges, the need to check your phone, browse the internet, or seek entertainment when things get challenging. Self-discipline trains you to recognize these impulses without acting on them. You become aware of the subtle ways distractions creep in and learn to pause, reflect, and choose actions that serve your goals. With time, this creates a new normal for you, a state of being where you're not easily swayed by every fleeting urge, but are instead focused and determined. When you start focusing on what truly matters, you notice a significant increase in productivity. Self-discipline allows you to dedicate uninterrupted blocks of time to your work, leading to deeper focus and more substantial progress. Without constant interruptions, you reach a state of flow, where you're fully absorbed in the task at hand. This flow state is where some of your best work happens, where ideas come effortlessly, and where time seems to fly by. The more you practice self-discipline, the more accessible this state becomes. You train your mind to tune out the noise and zero in on what's important, maximizing every moment. In addition to boosting productivity, self-discipline helps you avoid regret. Distractions might feel gratifying in the moment, but they often lead to regret later. After a day spent indulging in temptations, you're left feeling unfulfilled, knowing you didn't make any real progress. Self-discipline removes that regret. It lets you end each day with a sense of accomplishment, knowing you invested your time in things that bring you closer to your goals. This feeling of fulfillment isn't just a momentary reward. It's a reinforcing factor that strengthens your desire to stay disciplined. You realize that the satisfaction of meaningful progress far outweighs the fleeting pleasure of distractions. Self-discipline also plays a crucial role in managing stress and anxiety. Constantly giving in to distractions creates a cycle of procrastination, which only leads to increased pressure as deadlines approach. This cycle adds unnecessary stress to your life. By practicing self-discipline, you break free from this cycle. You start your work on time, meet your deadlines, and avoid the stress that comes from procrastination. Self-discipline creates a structured approach to your tasks, allowing you to work at a steady pace and manage your time effectively. As a result, you're not just working toward your goals, you're doing it with a sense of calm and control. As you cultivate self-discipline, you'll also find yourself becoming more confident in your abilities. With each distraction you overcome, you prove to yourself that you're capable of resisting temptation and staying on track. This builds self-trust, an invaluable asset in any journey toward success. Knowing you can rely on yourself strengthens your resolve to take on bigger challenges, knowing you won't be easily swayed or derailed. Your self-discipline becomes a source of pride, a reflection of your character and commitment to your goals. You start to see yourself as someone who is dependable, focused, and in control, a person capable of achieving great things.